yeah, shearing is is really important, but if you got a good shearer, then you're halfway won the battle of what to do. Um, uh, so you can this is a really a nice fleece. Now, so you know which here, Karen?
I would probably say that this is the neck.
It has that feel because you can kind of see how thick it is.
Well, also there's usually more debris up right here at the back of the neck.
Right.
The bird's nest. Now that.
Is that more than the barrel then?
The shearer usually gives a little air more
Yeah.
than just show, and it depends on the animal.
Okay.
She has very little guard hair
Okay.
down on the lower belly,
Okay.
but there is some. But the shearer, yeah, okay. So here is guard hair right here. She usually on a show blanket will give you an inch or so all the way around, so that you're not skirting into your. You're not losing the weight.
Okay.
Part of some of the judging is on the weight. There's also you get points for weight
Okay.
on the animal, because weight also is partly density and that kind of a thing. Uniformity throughout the blanket. This girl's got quite a bit of crimp. We do have issues at times. I've got some girls that have absolutely no crimp. They're very, very fine, no crimp, and we have the same problem. It doesn't hold together. This girl holds together really well. But there's on the edges would be second cuts.
Now, is that by feel? How do you know there's second cuts versus the?
Because
actually most people here have done it once before, but if
usually on the edges you're going to start getting second cuts because they're just gone over it.
okay,
And the hard thing with alpaca, and I don't know about llama, but probably llama, and the finer the animal, the second cuts stick. They don't come up as easily as I think the sheep's do. But
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do it if you're doing it right after the shear.
fresh fleeces are much easier to skirt. So if you, instead of because it's sort of like, and I've got fleeces that are several years old, they seem to sit in the bag and play. And the stuff that you don't want.
Yeah, like if you
Think uniformity across the blanket.
that's really what you're looking for, especially
Right,
for the
and
kids' sake, is looking for uniformity across the blanket.
and in your color, if your animal's got a lot of different colors,
Right.
and you get into fawns or something like that, and it's really difficult because they are, or grays, they have multiple colors. So just uniformity across whatever the animal is. Now you don't want to go, oh well, she's got a big spot here, and necessarily take that whole spot out. If that's part of the animal,
Right.
and the uniformity is there. Now, if it's on a couple of my animals, there is a structural change with a color change, so you can actually get that difference there. But uniformity in your staple length, like I would go through here and go, okay, my table is weld wire, and it's 1 by 1 grid. I also know my finger happens to be 3 inches. so I've been known to go like that. Okay, because a lot of the mills can't accept something. Some can't accept anything less than 2 inches. Others can't accept anything less than 3, but not over 6. So you've got to be in that sweet zone. So this girl is like 3 1/4. And I might take that out and go, I really like that. Naomi's saying about primaries as opposed to guard hair. This is not really guard hair, it's primaries. It just sort of softly blends over it, and she taught me this. It's not very much different, maybe, other than length from the rest of them. So why throw it out and think it's got guard hair in it, or even pull it out? It's really nice. I might take a piece like this and set it on my table and go, okay, that's what I want to measure to, and recognize that I do a lot more skirting for mills, for cleanliness for mills, but uniformity is huge, either in knowing that it's got the same amount of crimp, within reason, same length, look, that kind of stuff.
Kim, what is our scorecard? I don't have it with me.
fiber or the skirting or the scorecard for the fiber? What is it? Do you have one with you? Could you bring that just so we can, that way we can talk to like what the kids are measured to, right? Oh, good.
Consistency for sure.
Right, and the cleanliness is a
And
big one.
cleanliness
Cleanliness
is
is huge, because that's what the kids, or at least my kids have always spent a lot of time with, is just getting the dirt out.
Yeah.
as
They
best
want it
can.
to leave, if it is showing up in front of that judge, that means the kids are saying it's ready for you to spin it right there sitting at the table.
Okay.
So
Really?
if there is stuff in it that
Really?
they can't spin,
Yeah,
that's the goal, is
Right.
not to have dirty yarn.
yeah, so you're
But-
never gonna get it clean, even though it looks pristine, it's not clean because they have so much dirt in it.
Well, but I think we're talking a little bit apples and oranges.
I know.
When I'm putting my animal into a fleece show, into a fleece show for an alpaca fleece show, they would rather see the structure. Okay. Yeah, they want it clean, but they will ding you if they go in and see that you
Yeah.
pulled everything apart to get every bit of stuff out.
I'd rather see the dirt, the hay, a little hay there, and have the structure intact.
Interesting.
Right. So what we're talking about is apples and oranges. What you're
Yes,
talking
yes.
about is in your preparation, in the 4-H preparation, not
Right.
not for an alpaca fleece show.
Not for enough, and as
Right.
long as it's consistent, that's all we care.
consistent
Right,
and cleaner and
Because
ready.
you're judging the
Clean and
child
ready.
really more
Maybe
than the
cleaner
animal.
is a good
Well,
word.
we taped a lot of
Yeah.
that was more what we were pulling out for
That's
to
right.
make a point,
Right.
to
Yeah.
teach the
The
kids.
only when they only do
So this is for like when you do fiber dyeing,
Yeah,
right? When you
they-
do dyeing, you want to see the original
yeah,
color.
or like
Okay.
you prepare it like
Right.
you part it or something.
Right.
They have to see the
Because
original.
you do have to remember for 4-H we're judging the child's preparation of the fiber, and so that's the thing to keep in mind. It's not the animal itself; it's the child's preparation. So how can the kids best prepare
I'll send
whatever
this-
fiber they
this
have?
around. When we do
What the kids do, right?
Right, and that's great. And this way, and the funny thing is sometimes when you're fluffing, those little second cuts will pop up to the top, and you can see them. And you can see the uniformity, and you can pull out more things.
Can you point that out to us? What your the uniformity was the length that you had pulled out before, and then where do you see seconds there, so the kids would know what to.
Let's see. There's a second link there, I believe. Sometimes you almost have to tease it now. Okay. She's very dense and very crimpy, and that
Yeah.
tends to.
Get
But if you're looking for cleanliness, gently.
gently.
And I've. You're still going to want to, on your skirting table, gently. There's another thing. Fluff it, because that's going to get a lot of the sand and stuff to drop out. You might want to use tweezers if you're trying to keep it all together. But you can also take sections and just gently sort of roll it over on itself a little bit. Okay, don't get overwhelmed, just take small sections, little bits at a time, go away. If you get tired of doing it, go away and come back.
So how long would it take you to do to skirt a fleece like this?
Some fleeces I can skirt in 20 minutes, others it takes 2 days.
Right. Good for everybody to know, right? Because sometimes we spend a lot of time and we say, how can there still be dirt in there? But there is, right? Or it just depends on the animal.
You know,
right?
and when you wash it, you're going to get more dirt out. When
Right.
you start spinning it, more dirt's going to come out. And, unless that's a good thing, especially with a fleece that doesn't hold together. If you can lay another skirting table over the top, turn it over. I usually have to have my husband help me with it, and flip it over, and then bounce it, and you're getting, and as you got it sandwiched, so it can't move around a lot, but you're bouncing that dust and dirt out.
But
So-
it is somewhat delicate work. I mean, the way you were demonstrating over there, you're not just tearing it apart. It's just delicately
Yeah.
little kind of 1-inch movements, not.
I did bring another fleece, and unfortunately, I goofed and I picked one that's been washed.
Oh, nice.
But you'll see on this, there's still some, and go ahead. It doesn't break, so get your hands in it, whatever you want to do. This has been washed, and this is I don't remember how long, but you can see there's still debris in it. There's still some tips that aren't quite clean, but it is fluffier. And here are some another tip off sometimes on your.
My daughter shows the Surrey alpaca, and that's a whole new ballgame. And she has a very gorgeous fleece. What would be some tips, because the Wakaya has the nice crimp structure, that it stays together nice, for somebody who has a Surrey to prepare it? Because I know with the Surrey it falls apart more like doll hair or something sometimes. So what would be something that she could take away?
So you kind of just laying them together and kind of making it not like it's all tumbled.
Okay.
To kind of just lay it where you can kind of see the lock.
So just make sure that the lock is going, because you basically have to put it back together.
Yes.
So you just
Right.
make it look like it.
Look like it.
Like you, how you want it to look at it more organized.
Okay. So all right.
That's, yeah.
There we go.
I don't have Surreys,
Okay.
but I would think that would be it. And I agree. Surrey is harder to work with in the sense that it sort of lays back and goes, I want to do what I want.
Right.
And it's heavy and cool. And I would think getting and I would use tweezers on Surrey.
Okay.
To get debris out.
Okay.
Like hay, and hold on to your lock so that you're not pulling that whatever crimp structure, whatever structure it has.
So with the llamas, we blow them out before we shear them. And I know with alpacas, you don't want to do a lot of extra stuff. On a Surrey, could we do that? Because their structure is already kind of ragdoll material. So
Yeah, I would think you could.
Before you-
Yeah, I would experiment with it.
Okay.
And see.
Blow out Midas.
before.
It just hasn't.
Blow down. Sir,
Yeah.
you blow down, Makaya, you blow up.
Okay. There you go.
See, there is a difference.
Okay.
We just haven't done it.
Right.
All right.
One thing I forgot to mention is on any fleeces that you have or anything, when you're getting your sample and everything, and occasionally as you're going around, test the strength of it. It should, if you go like this with it and hold up to your ear, you can hear it not really make a popping, a thumping sound. You don't want to enter a fleece into a show that is pulling apart, breaking apart, crackling a lot, and you'll hear a crackle. That's sort of more of a soft thudding, thumping, type of thing, and that shows that there's been a stress break in the fleece. So.
Because I have a sheep background and not a lot of llama background, when I try to teach the kids to roll their fleeces, it's kind of like the sheep way, where we do the fold this way and then this way. And yes. And so now you would much rather have a bag, basically, a bag separating instead. Is that be okay if we turned in a fleece with the bag in it, is what I'm asking, I guess.
Usually,
We,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we had those. And so, yeah, so you want to make sure everything's in there, and so it's kind of tucked in. And you've done, yeah.
You lay it down on plastic first, and then you put another piece of plastic on the top.
Right.
Okay. So you have two.
Need to be done again.
Okay, I have a question for you, Nana.
Yeah.
You lay it down on plastic first, and then you put another piece of plastic on the top.
Right.
Okay. So you have